Uh, this is SBC NFL landscape. Matt Ryan has been traded from Atlanta to Indianapolis for a third round pick. Matt Ryan, who didn't look like someone who was going to be on the trade market, got a bit disgruntled with the situation with Deshaun Watson potentially being an option for Atlanta. Contract situation, there was no real talks of, re- whatever he did with his contract, whatever he did with
Oh,
Indianapolis,
didn't
there
he
was no real
reconstruct his contract?
reconstructed. There was really no talks of that. What's going on with Atlanta? Looked
That might
like
happen last year or something.
a little bit of a bit sour relationship, with them going after Deshaun Watson. So they dealed Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts for a third round pick. Imran, you feel a bit strong about this? You have an opinion on this, at least.
Okay, yeah.
You have an opinion on this? Shoot.
I don't understand what the Colts are doing. Like they keep switching QBs every time, and it's always like 1-year rentals. I guess Wentz was they're trying to get his potential, like his 1-year potential they saw like a few years ago, but like every year they just keep switching QBs. It was Philip Rivers, Wentz. Before that was Brissett. Like they just at some point they gotta get a QB for their future and just stick with him, because like you got a good team around whoever's gonna be the QB.
5 straight years, 5 different starting
Yeah,
quarterbacks. It's
a
insane.
start of Andrew Luck's career, they put him in a bad situation O-line wise. They got him beat up, and at the end he would have been fine if he was healthy. But like they got a good team. Back to my point, they got a good team around whoever's gonna be the QB, but they just gotta find that QB. And when you like Imran, you talk about like not paying the quarterback, right? Like a team like the Colts, they just need a quarterback. Like that's why you got to keep the quarterback and try to build around him. That's what my formula is like. Anyways, though, and also I want to talk about the Falcons. Like last year, they took Kyle Pitts fourth, and I was thinking about this at the time too. Like, why don't you just take a QB then, like Justin Fields? Because Matt Ryan was like 36 last year, and you definitely know he's not the future. You got a new coach. Why not try to build around the QB? I know it sounds like it's hindsight, but even at the time, it kind of made sense. Like, why are you taking Kyle Pitts can be like a generational player, but like you need a QB the most, so kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, as far as the coach situation, I really don't know what they're doing, and I really feel bad for Frank Reich, because I think Frank Reich is a damn good coach, and I don't think he's asking for this quarterback carousel nonsense. I really think he wanted to stick with Wentz. He even wanted to stick with Philip Rivers, but Rivers decided to retire. I don't think Frank Reich
I don't think there was a chance Wentz was staying though. Like they made it clear they were done with him.
They made it clear they were done with him, but I don't understand why. Just based on the performance.
Oh no, he was terrible. Like the last two games, like the Raiders game was terrible. Like they weren't even in it except like a Hail Mary they scored one time.
Oh, okay. So
like
okay.
And so many times last season. Wait. He's had some good games and his stats are decent, but like there were too many times last season where
you had different quarterbacks. Suddenly you're moving on from Carson Wentz, who's like 27, 28. Like
there were too many times last season where he was just losing them games. Like he had to do like a few plays to win the game, and he was just losing them game. Like I can't trust him, and he showed it the past two games, last two games of the season.
You can't trust Carson Wentz. How much more can you trust Matt Ryan?
That's exactly my problem, but they couldn't stick with Carson Wentz though.
It's just a carousel, and they expect to get productivity from the quarterback play when they don't give him any type of continuity in the offense. It's like a 1-year trial. You either succeed to the highest of highs or you're gone. Like it's crazy to me.
I mean, it's not that high to make the playoffs, to ask him to make the playoffs with this team.
And don't act like they were a bad team. They had a bad start and they were willed back into contention. And then they lost to Jacksonville at the end of the season. But don't act like they're like winless against Jacksonville in the last 6-7 years away. It's like a division rival. Of course, there's no defending it, but like it happens. It's a shocking result, but it happens. And, nobody's going to talk about the Carson Wentz performance against Arizona, where he willed them into victory with all the missing players and COVID stuff and all that they had. Nobody wants to talk about that, but they want to pick out his horrible performances where he played horrible against the I didn't think he
And
played
like my
horrible.
problem with Wentz is
Bad
like
against the Cowboys.
some of his bad plays just they're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you holding on the ball for too long? That's been his case like for the past few years now. Like he just holds the ball for too long or just
And
makes a
then
terrible decision. Like
at the same time, I can say some of his great plays. You're like, how does someone make that kind of throw? How is that throw even
exactly,
possible?
yeah. But
Yeah,
to
so there's
like the
upside.
top QBs, yeah, exactly. That's why they traded for him in the first place. But the top QBs, there's got to be at least some consistency. Like it can't just be all highs and then the lows of lows. So
Okay, let's go back to the Matt Ryan. How much better does Matt Ryan make this Indianapolis team?
yeah, we went to wins. How much better? Not that much. Probably
I
the
think,
same.
I think they'll be a playoff team. I think they'll still be a player. I really think Indianapolis is a good team. I think Frank Reich is a very, very good coach.
I mean, with luck,
I
they
just
might just make the playoffs and make a run or something.
And I think that they kind of
Could
got
happen.
unlucky with how the season played out. They had a gauntlet to start the season, and that like
Yeah.
slowed down their momentum. So I think how the schedule played out really did them in too. I think Indianapolis Colts are a playoff team, and I think that they were much better than some of the teams that made the playoffs. I really
Yeah,
do. I
last
think
year,
they're
if you
honestly, I think they're
replay last
better.
season
They're
like
better
five
than the team
times,
that made the
they
Super
probably
Bowl.
make the playoffs most of them.
I think they're better than the team that made the Super Bowl from the AFC, top to bottom. I think they're a better team, constructed a better team.
Except QB. And like we saw the Bills versus Chiefs or like the Bengals and like the top QBs that were winning them
Do
the
y'all
games.
remember? Do y'all remember what Indianapolis did when they went into Buffalo? I think it was like week 13, week 4. They annihilated them, embarrassed them, tortured them on their own field.
But when it's a close game, and I just don't trust. Well, I didn't trust Wentz then, and now, well,
So at the end of the day, you think this marginally makes Indianapolis better?
I'm not even sure if it's better.
Matt
Ryan was in a bad situation. Matt Ryan was in a bad situation last year, but he's getting older and his arm is getting weaker.
I say marginally.
I think it'll be all right. Yeah.
I say it marginally makes them better.
With some luck, they might win a playoff game.